What is up, my girls, my guys, whoever is on today? Thank you for being here. I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. For those that are new to this show, or maybe you put it on by random, maybe a friend sent it to you, I just want to say you've come to the right place. I'm so glad you are here. Welcome, 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 welcome. And to all my returning listeners, thank you for being here. Seriously, it brings my heart so much joy. This is what makes my heart happy, is to be able to use my words, to be able to use my lessons, my education, my stories, my trials, my tribulations, my my peaks and valleys, to be able to share with you, to impact you. So again, truly thank you so much for spending time with me. I never take it for granted. This is one of the most, exciting things I do every week, is to get on here and share with you. And I know that time is our most valuable asset. And, you are choosing to spend your time with me today. So thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your heart and your mind and your ears, and these few minutes together. So I just want to share something. I don't really pay much attention to the stats, because when I decided to do this podcast years ago, it wasn't about that. It was about getting this message out. It was about encouragement. It was about reaching more women, and impacting your heart and your mind. And so I thought, why don't I look at the stats? I have no idea. I'm kind of learning, how many lives are we impacting? How many hearts and minds? How many stories are we impacting? And I was blown away. I think it was 25,688 downloads on the Change Your Story podcast. That's pretty incredible. So 25,000, like, honestly, I just thought, wow. Like, oh my gosh, I'm in your ears, I'm in your heart, I'm in your mind. And hopefully these messages are impacting your heart and your life in such a positive way. Whether this is your first episode or you've been here with me from the beginning, I just want to thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for sharing these episodes with your friends and your family. I thank you for all your reviews and your ratings that you're leaving me, because when you take the 2 seconds to go to my homepage of this show and press those stars, it really helps Apple or Spotify show this podcast to the women that need it. So again, I want to thank you. If you haven't rated me or subscribed or left a review, that would make my heart so happy. It is how you support my channel and support these messages. And it's also how I know that, again, you guys want what I have to say, and it's helping you, and it encourages me to keep going too. My hope with these podcasts is very simple. I want to help you see things differently. I want to help you change the way you see things, because I truly believe when you shift your perspective, you change your perception. And when you change your perception, you begin to make different choices, right? Awareness. And we start choosing differently. And when we choose differently, that's how we change our story. And that's what this podcast is about. So before we jump into today's session, I have a couple exciting things that I really want to share with you. First, you guys, I sent my book in. It's finally done. Change Your Story. The book is called Change Your Story: From Self-Rejection to Self-Love. Rewrite your story, rewire your beliefs, and return to you. I honestly cannot believe it's done. I am so excited to get it into your hands and into your hearts. I truly believe that this book has transformation power. I believe that with all of my heart. So if I could just have your prayers and your hopes and your vibe sent my way. I sent it into Hay House, and I am believing that I'm going to get to work with them. They're the publishing company I want to work with. Everything it stands for, the authors they represent, it is the place that I want to be. I want to be an author published through them. So send me your hearts, send me your hearts. Yeah, send me your hearts, send me your prayers. I'm excited. I will keep you guys updated on that. So I'm really excited about that. And secondly, if you're listening to this podcast episode, whether you're new, whether you've been returning, and you're like, Hannah, I love these episodes. Where do I apply this to my life? How do I apply this to my life? Because it's one thing to listen to something, but transformation doesn't come from hearing, it comes from application, right? And so that is exactly why I created the Fit Club. It is your one-stop platform that helps you build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life. It really helps you apply all of these things. It is a self-relationship app. Yes, you may do it for fitness, or you may think fitness, but it's more than that. It is really applying a fit mind, fit body, fit life. It's where we practice living it out. It's where we practice choosing her, choosing that version of ourselves every single day. We work on nutrition, strength training, mindset, self-relationship, healthy habits. We do it surrounded by a community of women who are also learning to choose themselves one day at a time. So again, if you are ready to stop simply listening and start practicing everything we talk about here, I'd absolutely love to have you inside the Fit Club app. Links are in the show notes below. You'll get a 7-day free trial. That is it. That is all. Let's get into today. This episode was inspired by my workout. I was doing a workout. Every Monday on our Instagram, I always post a Fit Mind Minute. Fit Mind Minutes, Fit Mind Minute. We call it Monday Mindset. And this one just came from my workout, and I was thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to record this while it's fresh in my mind. And you know, with Instagram, I try to keep it 3 minutes or under, but I'm like, I need to go deeper with this. Women need to hear this. I have more to say about this. And so I wanted to dig in, and today is all about how your mind is a muscle and how we have to train it. And so let's get into this. I'm so excited. I want to know your thoughts. Did this impact you? Make sure you message me, send me an email, tag me on social media. I love to hear your little mindset shifts and what spoke to you. So what if we started it like this? What if I was to tell you that the strongest muscle you are building isn't your glutes? It isn't even your body. It's not your shoulders, your core, but it's actually your mind. Here's the thing. I know that sounds a little cheesy at first, but stay with me. I think many of us spend our lives trying to change our bodies while completely forgetting that every single day we're also training our mind, right? Our mind, whether you realize it or not, you are practicing something. Every thought you think, every habit you have, every belief that you keep, the way you speak to yourself, you are practicing how to respond when life gets hard. You are practicing what to believe. You are practicing who you're going to become. You're always training something. So the question is, what are you training your mind to believe? And here's where I want to shift your perspective, okay? I think this is where so many people get stuck. It's this: they think that training only happens during the workout, okay? They're there, they show up, they do the workout, that's the training. But I want you to think about it like this. Think about your day. When your alarm goes off, you train your mind. Do you hit snooze or do you get up? You know, you're training your mind. Every moment of every second of everything you choose from the moment you open your eyes. When you meal prep instead of ordering takeout, you're training your mind. When you keep the promises that you made to yourself, you're training your mind. When you break that promise, you're training your mind too. Every decision is another repetition. But what repetition are you working to strengthen? Every choice is a vote for the person that you are becoming. So what are you building on? Okay, so let's talk about that building on. Let's talk about the mind, the brain for a second. Again, I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to explain this in a way that I understand it, and hopefully it makes sense for you. So our minds are incredibly efficient. They like to be incredibly efficient. It is designed, our minds, to create patterns, okay? Patterns that are efficient and make things efficient for us to follow. So think about the minimum effective dose our brain likes to do. Whatever is easiest, even if easiest isn't serving us. Just think about brushing your teeth, showering, driving to work. You could probably get there without even thinking about what you're doing in the present moment. I don't know if you've ever done that and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? My mind was somewhere else. Because your mind, your brain, your nervous system knows where to go without you even thinking about it. And so habits and beliefs can be like that too. So I want to give you kind of a picture in your mind. Think about the first time maybe you walked into a gym or the first time you did your workout. You might have felt very awkward, right? You didn't know how to use the equipment. You didn't know what the equipment was. You were wondering if everybody was watching you or if you're doing it right. Even learning a squat or a deadlift, everything felt unnatural. There were so many things for you to think about. Your body had to learn a completely new way of movement. You felt shaky. It felt tiring. You had to think a lot about just doing the movement and not actually getting stronger at the movement in the beginning. Your nervous system had to figure out how to coordinate your muscles, what to connect to. It felt clunky. You felt like Bambi on ice. It feels uncomfortable. It's hard. Your fingers hurt. Your wrists hurt. You name it. I've heard everybody say it. But here's the thing. You keep showing up again and again. You keep practicing that movement. And then pretty soon you don't even have to think about, you know what stance your feet need to be in. You know what you need to engage. Your body learned the pattern. Your mind works the exact same way. Every thought that you repeatedly think, every belief you repeatedly tell yourself, every action you repeatedly take, your mind begins treating it as familiar because you practiced it. And that's actually good news, because here's the thing. If your mind can learn a pattern, it can also learn a new one. That's why we also call that, or science calls that, neuroplasticity, right? Your mind isn't fixed, right? It can change, it can grow, it can build new pathways. Just like building muscle, it takes repetition. So unless we practice, right, creating these new pathways, these new belief systems, we'll continue to default to the old ones that weren't serving us. This is why change can feel so hard. This is why so many women give up. Now, I don't know where you're at in your self-relationship journey or in your fitness journey, but if you've ever started a fitness journey or you've ever had a goal, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. You decide, okay, this is it. Monday, I'm going to start. You meal prep, you drink water, you start reading, you start journaling. You tell yourself you're going to stop talking so negatively about yourself. And then you do it for a few days. And then it starts to feel really hard. The motivation goes. The routine feels hard. Getting yourself to the gym feels hard. Life happens, starts throwing you curveballs. And then meal prep isn't as exciting. Maybe the results aren't coming as fast. Remembering to drink your water, you're forgetting. Then you feel down on yourself. Then you start beating yourself up. Then your negative thoughts start coming and overflowing you. Catching your negative thoughts feels hard. You can't tell your positive from your negative thoughts. You know, you're speaking kindly to yourself feels really hard. To look at yourself and like yourself feels really hard. Your mind feels really negative and it feels hard to change. And then you get down because you feel like you can't keep the promises to yourself. And you start feeling like you're a failure and you can't keep going. And, you know, I think this is why so many women give up. Because you don't realize that that's actually a part of the process. That's actually a good thing, because change doesn't happen all at once. Change happens, just like when we go into the gym, we're not going to go and lift the heaviest weight right away. We're going to have to first learn movement patterns. And then we're going to have to first show up consistently, because if we don't, then we're not going to get any stronger. We're going to be doing the same thing, maybe still learning the movement patterns because now we forgot because we haven't been consistent. It's going to feel really hard. It's going to feel awkward in the beginning. When we don't realize that this is a part of the process, right? Failure or feeling like, here's a good analogy. When a baby falls down, they don't just go, okay, I guess I'm not meant to walk ever again. This is not for me. A baby keeps falling down until they get up and they walk long enough to where they don't fall down anymore. Our fitness journey, our self-relationship journey is the same thing, whatever layer that is. Maybe it's fitness, maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's body love, maybe it's all of the above. You keep falling down or you keep feeling like you're messing up. I want to tell you that is a part of the process. You have to keep getting up. Don't think that you're not disciplined. I know the mind can go, I'm just not disciplined. I'm just not motivated. Maybe this is my genetics, or maybe it's not for me. But that is the negative story. That story isn't serving you. That is a belief that you've been repeating. That repetition feels more natural to you than the new identity that you want to have. It feels hard because you're asking your mind to do something that it hasn't practiced yet, right? The mind isn't strong in building you up right now because you've practiced that negative story, the negative talk, the habits that aren't serving you, right? It's new. It's going to feel so hard on so many levels, right? Just like movement, just like practicing a new habit, it feels overwhelming in the beginning. And here's the thing, if you've spent most of your life criticizing yourself or telling yourself that you're not good enough or you'll never have it or, that negative story, speaking kindly to yourself isn't going to feel natural overnight. But here's the thing, you're not going to get better at it if you stop. In the beginning, it's going to feel like a lot of work. And I always say when you start becoming aware, you'll be like, holy frick, was I this negative? Did I really think this about myself? You'll find yourself being more insecure around people. This is a part of the process. I want you to learn to sit in the discomfort of this, right? It's not going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel discomfort, but can you choose yourself anyways? Can you choose the next best thought anyways? Because we have to start practicing, because repetition is the thing that changes you. Not doing it once, but doing it daily, right? Here's the thing about your mind. Your mind is going to look for proof. This is where it gets really kind of exciting. We bring the science into it. So, neuroscience calls this your RAS, your Reticular Activating System. Your brain will show you what you are looking for. So when we're very negative and we're not hopeful and our mind is negative, our brain is going to show us more proof of that, right? It's like the example of a car. You're wanting to buy a car or you're pregnant or whatever is important to you. Your brain will start filtering those important things and you'll start seeing that through that lens, right? Same thing with psychology calls it confirmation bias. So it's like our brain will show us proof of the thing that we believe, right? So that's why we have to train our mind every single day, because if you've practiced believing I'm not disciplined, your mind is going to notice everything you miss, everything that you fall short of, every unhealthy choice, every mistake. It's almost always going to ignore the times that you actually show up. But here's the beautiful part. Remember how I said your brain's not fixed? Your mind isn't fixed. We can grow, we can change, we can create new neural pathways, new belief systems, but it's going to take practice daily, right? When you practice a new belief, your mind will start looking for proof of this new belief. When you start saying it's important, that's why we have to do it daily. We have to do it daily. Just like you got to nourish your body. You can't live on last week's food. You have to nourish yourself daily. You have to nourish your mind. You have to nurture your mind. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, your biggest encourager daily. That's why in the Fit Club, I have a whole mindset section, daily devotionals. I go in there. We have this podcast because I need to get into your mind. I need to help you continually reprogram. What we're doing right now, you listening to this, is reprogramming, is encouraging you. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. And it's going to strengthen you. That alone will strengthen you. That alone will motivate you. But you can't live just on this one podcast. You actually have to start applying it. You have to actually start, practicing it. And then your mind will start showing you proof that you are capable, proof that you are doing good, proof that, you are someone who keeps promises to yourself. Your mind will start noticing, oh, I actually got up when my alarm went off today. I drank more water today. I packed my lunch. I went for a walk. I showed up. Here's the thing. I talk about this in the Fit Club too, is like we have journals in there. So in the journals, we have like a gratitude. So it's also like gratitude and then wins, focusing on your daily wins. Because a lot of the time women will focus on what they didn't do. And I try to get you to focus on what you did do. What is going good for you? What are you doing that's right? It doesn't have to be this ginormous thing. It can be the smallest little thing, right? It could be that you noticed that you spoke kinder to yourself or that you did your gratitude, right? It could be the smallest thing, that you enjoyed the sun on your face, that you were present with yourself, right? The more you practice this, the more you spend time with yourself, you journal, the more you speak kindly to yourself, you are retraining your brain. When you start showing up, for yourself, when you choose to spend time with yourself, you are retraining your brain to say, this is important to me. And then you'll start finding more time. I know I hear lots of women say all the time, I don't have time, or life is so busy. And your brain will start showing you that you don't have time. You are really busy. How will you fit it in? But you need to reframe it. You need to change that and go, you know what? I can make time for things that are important to me. And when I make the time for things that are important to me, time will start making time for me. That's how we reframe it. That's how we change it. We have to flip our dialogue. We have to change what we're saying. You don't want to say that you want something and then your words are saying the opposite, or it's almost like it's deleting out the thing that you want. You say what you want, and then your language or your internal dialogue is canceling out what you want, because you will always default to your belief system. You'll always move in the direction of what you truly believe. So we have to work daily on changing that belief system. And this is why I did this reel, and this is why I wanted to go deeper on this podcast, is because the gym has taught me so much. Fitness has taught me so much about life, right? Here's some of the lessons that have nothing to do with our bodies, but fitness can teach us. When you lift weights, you're not just building muscle, ladies. Yes, we think that we're going and getting toned and changing our body, but you're actually practicing consistency. You're actually practicing building yourself up. You're practicing health. You're practicing discipline. You're practicing resilience. You're practicing spending time with yourself, building a relationship with yourself, keeping promises to yourself. Every time you show up, on the days that you don't feel like it, you are strengthening something so much bigger than your body. You're strengthening your mind. We're building that mind muscle. Right? Your mindset, your mind is the foundation. If you strengthen your mind, it will override everything and you'll be able to do things on autopilot. Things that once felt hard won't feel hard anymore because you have learned to lift the weights of your mind. And we lift the weights of our mind by doing the things and repeating the things that maybe in the moment we don't feel like doing, but we practice it like we're lifting a weight. When we say something kind to ourselves, we're picking up that barbell of our mind. When we show up for our workout when we don't want to, we're picking up that barbell of our mind. When we meal prep when we don't want to, we're picking up that barbell of our mind. When we choose a better choice, when we choose a better thought, we are picking up that barbell of our mind, right? We're strengthening our minds. Here's the thing, people, I get asked this all the time. I believe in motivation. Motivation, I believe, is this. You break up the word motive and action. Your motive is why you're doing something. It's your why. It's very important. And when we put it into action, motivation shows up after. Motivation never shows up before. Here's the thing. Motivation is a feeling, but it's also an action, but it's also the thing that is sneaky and it only shows up after. Yes, you might have excitement in the beginning, but it definitely dissipates really fast because when you learn something new, it's exhausting for your mind. Your mind wants easy, so it's going to default and it's going to find reasons or excuses. Oh, you can start Monday, or oh, you can start later, or oh, this won't hurt and that won't hurt, and oh, whatever. Distract yourself, stay busy, don't do it, right? Here's the thing. You can't rely on motivation. And this is what I tell people is I'm not super motivated all the time. There are mornings that I don't want to get up. There are workouts I don't feel like doing. There are days I'd rather eat out and, have fast food than I would rather meal prep. The difference here isn't feeling motivated or not feeling motivated. The difference is that I've practiced showing up for myself. I've practiced making better choices over and over and over again. And eventually showing up for myself became a part of my identity, became a part of who I am. The podcast I did, you don't chase her, you choose her. You have to choose her today. We don't chase it. Our best self isn't outside of us somewhere in the future. She's right now. You have to choose it. You have to choose that identity. It's a part of who you are. I choose that every day. I don't have these magic genetics or this magic life or this magic mind. I have had to train every single day my mind. It's not like there's no secret sauce to willpower. There's no secret sauce to motivation. It is I just keep choosing it over and over and over again. I keep practicing it. Just like you practice a squat. Just like you practice, taking care of the people that you love, just like you practice brushing your teeth, just like there's things that you practice that you do on autopilot, driving to work. You can do it on autopilot. It's like practicing anything else. It will become a part of who you are, right? And so I want to say maybe that is the biggest takeaway I want you to learn today is that you don't become confident. You practice confidence. You don't become disciplined. You practice discipline by doing the things that you say you're going to do. You don't become resilient. You practice resilience. You don't become healthy. You practice healthy habits. You don't become someone who loves herself overnight. You practice speaking to yourself with kindness, compassion, unconditional love. We don't set conditions. We have grace for ourselves as we slowly make changes. We practice keeping promises. You practice choosing yourself. And little by little, those practices start becoming your identity, right? That's why I always say this. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. And I actually got it tattooed on my arm. You don't chase her. You choose her every single day. Every workout, every meal, every thought, every word you speak, every choice, every habit, every repetition. And breathe. Take a breath, because sometimes we hold our breath. I want to leave you with one question today. What are you practicing? Because whether you realize it or not, you're always going to be training something. Every thought is another repetition. Every action is another repetition. Every choice that you're making in every second of every day is a vote for the person that you are becoming. Now, is it intentional or is it not? Because we can only get to where we want to be intentionally, being present, being focused, not by being perfect, but by focusing on just one thing to practice, seeing everything in our life as choosing to practice it, practicing just choosing yourself. Choose yourself today. Here's the thing, one repetition won't make you stronger in the gym. Just like one thought or one workout won't transform your body or your life. You have to continually practice it and then add something that we call progressive overload. As you get stronger, there's going to be new layers that you're going to have to grow through and go through. That's called self-relationship. That's called self-reflection. That's called, left my head. What is it? That is called emotional intelligence. It's understanding that we're human and we are meant to grow. So once you practice this and you get really good with this, something else will come up. But that's not to make you feel bad about yourself. That's an invitation for a new layer to understand yourself, to know yourself more. And the more you do it, the more layers you'll uncover. The more compassion and self-love you'll have for yourself, the more awareness you'll have, the more beautiful life will become. Because you decided to choose yourself. You decided to practice becoming that version. You decided to choose her over and over and over again. And pretty soon, you are who you want to be. So remember, your mind doesn't change because you know better. Your mind changes because you practice better. Practice choosing yourself in your thoughts, in your beliefs, in your words, in your habits, in your environment, and you'll be on your way. I love you so much. If this resonated with you, let me know. Share it with 3 friends. Leave me a review. Leave me a rating. And I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.